Hey, what's good? The word fascist has been used a lot lately, so I wanted to check out this 10 Tactics of Fascism over on the Big Think channel. And hopefully, this will bring clarity and help people understand better what they're actually talking about. I'm going to keep working on this animation. Before we get into it, remember to go to coconutjustice.com to get you some clothes that I think would look good on you. Let's go. Let's get right into this one. Oh, and if you guys are wondering, that's Blender. That's Blender right there. So yeah, the 10 tactics of fascism. Hopefully they'll give a little description of what they think fascism is, or what the actual definition of fascism, so we have a clear understanding of where they're coming from. But let's give them a chance. Let's see what they say. Big think. Let's go.
Fascism is a cult of the leader who promises national restoration in the face of supposed humiliation by immigrants,
Well, that was quick.
leftists, liberals, minorities, homosexuals, women, in the face of what the fascist leader says is a takeover of the country's media, cultural institutions, schools by these forces. And that's why you need a real
29 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
macho, powerful, violent response. The fascist leader says he will solve the problem. Fascism is right-wing by nature. It's based on ultranationalism. However, you can have ultranationalist movements that are ultranationalist movements of minority groups. There is left-wing authoritarianism. There are bad things on the left. Stalin killed many, many people. Mao killed many, many people. These are terrible figures, but not all terrible things are fascist. Fascism is a very particular ideological structure. When thinking about fascism, you can't think about these individual elements in isolation. They come as a bundle. My name is Jason Stanley. I'm the Jacob Urowski Professor of Philosophy at Yale University and the author of 5 books, most recently, How Fascism Works: The Politics of Us and Them.
So before we let Jason cook, I mean, so far, we have to understand, whether or not we agree, but we have to understand with the description that this guy Jason gave as to what is fascism, you can't argue why people are using this term. I haven't said it just because I don't fully understand the degrees of it, and I know that once you start calling people names and stuff, the conversation ends, and I don't like that. I like to understand where people are coming from and where problems exist, and then I try to solve problems. I'm a problem solver. That's what I do. A creative problem solver. And so, yeah, I don't. So when people just finish up a discussion by saying, well, he's just a fascist or whatever, you're not learning anything, and shutting people out is not going to get us anywhere. And this is why we are where we are. The country is divided, and people are profiting off of that division. And you and I need to communicate better so we don't let people with these tendencies, whoever you want to talk about, I don't care. I don't care who. But we need to, if we're going to be living in a democracy the way that we're supposed to be doing, none of this stuff, this big bully stuff, none of that stuff. I'm not attracted to this idea at all. At all. I think the collective would be better at serving or fixing problems and fixing issues than just one person. That one person, just because he talks real loud and he says things that gets you giggly and he's got the courage to go out and, I'm not saying that your boy isn't getting his ass whipped day in and day out, but he kind of deserves it. He asks for it. And then he tells you guys, look it, I'm getting my ass whipped for you. And you guys actually believe that. It's a little bit crazy. And I know that saying it's a little bit crazy is also a conversation starter. Same thing as calling someone a fascist right before you and I know, but whatever. That thought process, the thought process that you think that one person is going to be able to fix all of your problems. That's not that's not how it works. No, look at the melee that's happening. Anyway, let's go.
We forget that many fascist regimes started off as democratic political parties. We forget that Hitler, the Nazi party, ran in an election. Fascist parties start as fascist social and political movements before they come to power. So it's important to see that these tactics occur even in societies that do not have a fascist regime.
Okay.
All nationalism involves a mythic past. So you can say, look, we're Polish people who spoke Polish and were sheep herders, and another bunch of Polish people who were fishermen. You can talk about how things were wonderful when we were all Polish together. That's a fine mythic past. But then there's the fascist mythic past. In the past, we were great. Wherein did our greatness consist? In our military. And in the past, the dominant racial group ruled over others. And then the fascist leader says, that has been taken from you by the leftists and communists. They want to weaken our military. They want to weaken our greatness.
It's getting harder and harder to defend that fact. We see it every day. We've seen the same words. We see the same tactics.
Propaganda is ubiquitous, and everyone uses propaganda. In political propaganda, your main message is something other than the information you're conveying. Fascist propaganda is a very particular structure. It's based around a friend-enemy distinction. The political opponent, they are a merciless threat to your very existence and your traditions. They are the other. When they are in charge, it subverts the nation. So the structure, fascist propaganda, is based on the idea that the other are fundamentally opposed to the nation. As Hitler says in Mein Kampf, science is only useful insofar as it strengthens the nation. Fascism is a cult of the leader. It involves the leader setting the rules about what's true and false. So any kind of expertise...
Your boy just got done saying that he is the law. And he's the one that creates the law.
Reality, all of that is a challenge to the authority of the leader. If science would help him, then he can say, okay, I'll use it. Institutions that teach multiple perspectives on history in all its complexity are always a threat to the fascist leader. The center of democracy is truth. You're not free if you've been lied to. Nobody thinks the people of North...
And that's the problem with a lot of people today. They feel like they've been lied to. So the contract is broken in their eyes. And it's hard to defend that stance too, because both sides have been lying to us. We're learning. Both sides are tracking us. Both sides are lying to us. Both sides are trying to get over on us. We know that.
Korea are free. The people of North Korea will vote for dear leader every time because they've been lied to. It's not a free vote because they don't have access to the truth. Equality similarly requires truth, because equality in democracy doesn't mean we all have the same amount of money. It doesn't mean we all have the same car. It means political equality, that each of our voices matters the same. And political equality means speaking truth to power. If someone really powerful is humiliated when they're caught lying, that's the core of political equality. So if you're going to rip the heart out of democracy, you get people used to lies. Here's a fact.
Listen to the techniques. We're seeing these techniques. And it's not just one dude. He's got a whole team out here confusing you.
About humans. We all pretty much suck to the same degree. One group of us is not better than another group of us. Hierarchy is central here because it's the big lie at the center of things. What is racism but one big lie? Racism is the lie that one group is better than another. You're told this religion is better, this race is better, this gender is better. It's really a moral claim, has more moral worth. And then once you have hierarchy set up, you can make people very nervous and frightened about losing their position on that hierarchy.
Yeah.
Hierarchy.
They do that. They do that to you. The immigrants are coming to get your jobs, all that stuff. Meanwhile, immigrants, not immigrants, but contractors came and took my job. And I don't hear you guys complaining about that. I don't hear you guys complaining about all of these developers and all of these software designers, all that stuff. They came and they took these jobs. And all I hear is you guys talking about Mexicans and all kinds of goofy stuff. Meanwhile, the jobs that actually make a difference, the job that actually pays well, those jobs are gone, but you guys are complaining about picking apples and strawberries and shit.
Goes right into victimhood. Because once you convince people.
This one too. Your boy out here, he can't do anything without being the victim. He picks fights and then he convinces you guys that he's the victim.
That they are justifiably higher on the hierarchy. Then you
yeah, they're coming to get your jobs. They're coming to get your women. Oh, the blacks and the Mexicans with the marijuana, they're coming to rape women. These are all things. These are all things that they've been saying. Oh, sweet Jesus. You guys. I understand wanting change. I understand being tired of people taking your money and not doing anything positive with it. I get it.
tell them that they're victims of equality. German Christians are victims of Jews.
You guys are victims of DEI. You guys are victims of Black Lives Matter. You guys are victims. You guys are victims. Meanwhile, I'm telling you, it's tough. I have seen white folks. They have it easier. It's just a thing. And then you guys get pissed off when we say, yo, what the hell? Play fair. And you guys would rather tear it down.
White Americans are victims of Black American equality. Men are victims of feminism. Once you convince people that they should be better, that they have earned a position on the hierarchy over others, then you can tell them that equality is actually victimhood. Loyalty to the dominant group means law-abidingness. And the minority group is by its nature not law-abiding. Law and order in fascist politics means the members of the minority group who accept their subservient role, they're law-abiding, and the members of the dominant group, by their very nature, are law-abiding. By definition, the leader can't violate law and order. So law and order doesn't mean justice. Law and order doesn't mean equality. Law and order structures who's legitimate and who's not. Everywhere around the world, no matter what the situation is, in very different socioeconomic conditions, the fascist leader comes and tells you, your women and children are under threat. You need a strong man to protect your families. They make conservatives hysterically afraid of transgender rights or homosexuality, other ways of living. These are not people trying to live their own lives. They're trying to destroy your life, and they're coming after your children. What the fascist politician does is they take conservatives who aren't fascist at all, and they say, look, I know you might not like my ways. You might think I'm a womanizer. You might think I'm violent in my rhetoric, but you need someone like me now. You need someone like me because homosexuality, it isn't just trying for equality. It's coming after your family. Fascist movements typically, though not invariably, rest on an urban-rural divide. The cities are where there's decadence, where the elites congregate, where there's immigrants, there's criminality, there's Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, there's schools, there's exposure to different cultures that aren't going to do anything to you. They're not coming to do anything except try to make a better life for their family. Why? Because we are that country where we can provide that. We give you the opportunity to come and strive to be the very best version of yourself here. We don't need a strong man to tell you, or a strong person for that matter. We don't need any bullheaded someone coming to tell us how to do us. I'm good. I don't need supervision. I don't need someone to tell me what to do over here versus over there. I don't need all that stuff. I need you to get out of my way. Either make my path easier or get out of the way. I don't need you. I don't need a priest to tell me how to pray. I don't need a pope to tell me my relationship with God. I don't need whatever the hell your boy thinks that he is. I don't need any of that. If anything, I need you guys to communicate with me, and I can communicate with you so we can maneuver this and figure this out. But co-signing to this dude who is just actively destroying the government is not, I don't see it. Actually, let me say it like this. Right now, I don't see the benefit of having this bull in a china shop. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I don't think I am, but I could be wrong. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens when this guy that sells Bitcoin and gold sneakers and university memberships to a university that gets in legal trouble. Let's see. Maybe he does have the ticket. Maybe he does have the answers, and we're just gonna, and I'll be the first one to be like, yeah, my bad. I'm sorry I didn't see it, but I just don't see it.
In the city, there's not real work. The pure, hardworking, real members of the nation.
Just because we ain't digging holes and shit don't mean we're not working hard. It's because the people with brains like mine are making your job easier. Because we see a problem, and then we can actually like build things to make your job easier. That's how it's supposed to be. That's why free trade is supposed to be cool. You know, it's supposed to be in a way where if you come up with something that makes everyone's job easier, you should be rewarded. Sure, of course you should. But you're not out here by yourself. You're not out here by yourself. Farmers don't build roads. They also don't go and get gasoline and deliver gasoline. They're farmers. You're not doing this shit by yourself.
In the rural areas where they work hard with their hands. When our politicians talk about inner city voters or urban voters, we all know what they mean.
Yeah. Racist fucks.
Arbeit macht frei, work shall make you free. This was written on the gates of Auschwitz. The idea is that the minority group, they're lazy and they need to be made to work. Free.
Do you see? Do you see?
The minority group and the leftists, they're lazy by their nature, and it gives them a work ethic. Labor unions are run by communists who are trying to make things easier. Hard work is a virtue. In liberal democracy, we don't value people by how hard they work. What would happen to disabled people who can't work? They would then have no value. It's why the Nazis
and there's a lot of you
T4
folks out there
program
that don't want to worry about these people. That's what I don't understand. If you don't want to worry about them, that's fine. But then you have to kick in some money so we can find someone who's going to worry about them. It's going to be your problem. Eventually, it will be your problem. So you might as well take care of it as a team.
The disabled, because the disabled were lebensunwertiges Leben, life unworthy of life, because to be valued was to be capable of hard work. Each of these individual elements is not in and of itself fascist, but you have to worry when they're all grouped together. When honest conservatives are lured into fascism by people who tell them, look, it's an existential fight. I know you don't accept everything we do, you don't accept every doctrine, but your family is under threat. Your family is at risk. So without us, you're in peril. Those moments are the times.
And you guys
when we
fall
need to
for
worry
this
about
dumb
fascism.
shit. And then you guys take this stuff. You guys fall for it. And you, through the years, even though you've seen it, even though you've seen it in history books and in all the documentaries and stuff like that, we've seen this stuff. We've seen this, not just Hitler, but we saw Fidel Castro. Everyone was, up to this point, everyone was afraid of, Putin. He kills people who run against him. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with each and every one of your friends, and if you want to come hang out with me and watch videos while I work on creative projects, hit that subscribe button. Then, change the little bell icon so it says all. That way, every time I come out with something new, you'll be alerted. Don't forget to go to coconutjustice.com to get you some dope gear. And with that, I'm out.